everyone. So great to see everybody on Zoom here today. I love doing these seminars. I really do. I love to do educational events for people. I love for people to understand the different kinds of opportunities you might have in your different portfolios, whether it's a retirement account or outside of a retirement account. I think it's important for you to understand what's available to you. And that's why I came up with this Building Foundations for Financial Wealth series. So this is my second in my series. The first one was an overview of the market. And if you haven't seen that one, I suggest you go to my website, californiawealthadvisors.com, and look on there. I have previous webinars on there to talk about just markets in general. So tonight, we're going to talk more specifically about non-traditional types of investments. So I love this series. I hope you enjoy it. I have a lot of fun doing these. So let me share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, so this is my series, Building Foundations for Financial Wealth. So I created this series really for education, to let you know what's out there for you. I am Kelly Slott. I am the president and CEO of California Wealth Advisors. So I've been doing this for many years. I love giving live events, but I love giving these Zoom types of webinars as well, these educational events that we've come up with for you. So thank you for joining us, and we hope you get something out of this evening. Okay, non-traditional investments. That's what this series tonight is going to be on. And so many of my clients don't understand what non-traditional investments are. So I came up with the seminar for you. I want this to be a conversation with us. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in. If I don't get to them, it's because I probably feel like we're going to get to that question eventually. But I want it to be interactive. I absolutely want people to contact us if they have more questions. You can call my 800 number, 800-810-8060, 800-810-8060, or you can go to my website, californiawealthadvisors.com, and go to contact us, and you can type in your question there and we'll get back to you. So we're very interactive. We want to make sure this is something you walk away with and say, hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know about that. So the non-traditional investments are where we go for investments that are not in the stock market. So that's why they're called non-traditional investments. Okay, I guess I do have a radio show. KNX 1070 is where it is on AM, plays on Saturdays and Sundays. Love to have all of you listen in. If you haven't listened to my show, all my previous radio shows are on my website, californiawealthadvisors.com. If you just go to the radio tab, all my radios, you scroll down there and you'll see all of my radio shows on there. You can listen to any of them as you like. If you cannot listen live on KNX on the weekends, then no problem. Just go to my website and my most recent show will be listed there first. And there's usually a little bit of a description about what each show is about. A lot of good information on my radio show. I also wrote a book, The Great Retirement Mystery, How to Avoid the 6 Biggest Blunders. I wrote this because people need to have a roadmap. They need to figure out for themselves, what do I have? Where do I want to go? How do I do it? And that's what my book is really about. And retirement is in the title, but it's really for people that are even in their 20s or 30s. I've had 20-year-old radio show listeners call me and say, I got your book. I read it. I didn't know about a lot of this stuff. And now I can plan for my future. So I think my book is for anyone really, but particularly if you are pre-retirement or even into retirement. And my subline there is how to avoid the 6 biggest blunders. That's true for anyone. So anybody can avoid blunders, certainly. And I help people retire over and over and over again every year. You, the listener, retires once in your life, but I do it all the time. So we know how to avoid those big mistakes I see people make. So by all means, if you haven't read my book yet, I encourage you to do it. You can get it on Amazon. Go to my website too, californiawealthadvisors.com, and it'll take you right to the Amazon page where you can get your copy. So before I jump into non-traditional investments, I want to talk about the key components to investing. What are they? Well, one is to have a plan. Have a plan that's specific to you. No cookie cutter here. We tailor-make plans for you based on your needs, your time frame, your income needs, your legacy passing needs, looking at a holistic view of your entire portfolio to figure out where we might be able to help you and create that future that you want. Create the income, perhaps, as I said, that maybe a lot of people do want income. So a lot of times we go towards that when we create plans specific to you. So if you don't have a plan that's specific to you, call us, get yourself on our calendar, and let's see how we can help you specifically. The second thing that's a key component to investing is to have diversification. You've got to have diversification. You really do. The markets, the alternative space, the safe space, MAS, I call it. Again, markets is M, A is alternatives, S is safe money. When you make a portfolio like this, and we tailor make it again for you, but when we make this type of portfolio for you, it tends to bring peace of mind because you're not 100% in the markets. Many people come to me with large 401ks, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million in their 401k. They've saved all those years and it's great, but that's all in the stock market. And a lot of people, once they get to retirement or pre-retirement, don't want to be 100% in the market, because what if the market goes down hugely tomorrow? Well, then you've lost a lot of your value. So a lot of times people just are much more comfortable when they create the mass proprietary process. We help them create that mass proprietary process for them because they don't want to be out of the market. So let's talk about the mass proprietary process for a second here. Well, actually, before I get there, let me talk a little bit more about non-traditional investments. So non-traditional investments, what does that mean? That means any investment that's not in the stock market. Stock market goes up and down. We all know that. So I'm going to dive deep into it tonight about non-traditional investments and how they can help you and how they might help you diversify your portfolio, plan for that income, plan for that growth. Inflation hedge, that's always a good thing too. Combat inflation, that's good. So these are all the kind of things we're going to talk about here tonight. So again, back to my mass proprietary process. So M is the market, A is alternatives, S is safe money. So tonight I'm going to talk about the light blue section, the alternative section. My other Building Foundations for Financial Wealth webinars will be on the stock market and the blue section as well, the dark blue section as well. So where we're going to land tonight is that light blue section. And again, this is how I create diversification for you. Everybody's different here. It's not 33% in each one of these necessarily. It depends on you. What's your time frame? What's your risk tolerance? If you're adverse to any kind of risk whatsoever, well, I'm going to only put you in the dark blue, the safe section. Again, I have other webinars that I talked about that. But if you're not diversified, you need to call us. You need to get yourself on our calendar to find out how we can diversify your particular portfolio. Okay, non-traditional investments. What do I mean by that? Well, these are, again, alternative investments to the market. They've long time been popular with institutional or high net worth investors. The Harvard Endowment Fund, CalSTRS, they all like these non-traditional alternative types of investments. All of them have used them and had a large portion of their portfolio in these types, not 100% in the stock market. Maybe you don't know that, but that's true. And the recent stock market volatility as well has really encouraged people to look outside of the stock market. So again, back to my mass proprietary process, alternative or safe money is a lot of times where people go, especially when they bring me large portfolios that are only in the stock market. So again, I love these non-traditional investments, and let's see if they're for you. Let me move my slide here a little bit, so that might be helpful. Okay, an overview of non-traditional investments. Okay, what are they? Well, collectibles, anything that doesn't trade with the market. So collectibles could be a car. I have clients that have Ferraris that are worth multi-millions of dollars. That's a collectible. Diamonds, artwork, those are collectibles. Those are alternative types of investments. Commodities, certainly, hedge funds, foreign exchange types of investments. Those could be very good too. And then I'm going to do a deeper dive in the non-traded alternative investments for you. Real estate, oil and gas, equipment leasing, business development companies, preferred shares a lot of times are there as well. So again, a lot of different options for you here, but I'm going to focus on the bottom part as the investments go here. Now, what are the advantages of non-traditional investments, alternative types of investments? Well, they have low correlation to the market. As we know, markets go up and down. Last few years have been very volatile. Probably volatility is the new norm. I really have to say that. I think that's the norm these days is volatility. What I love about them too is they give you diversification from the market. So you're not 100% tied to the stock market. Many of my retirees just don't want to have that much risk. And then there's tax advantages to these as well. If you do these types of investments outside of retirement accounts, then you get tax-free income, you get long-term capital gains when they sell the properties, for instance. I'll go into that a little bit more depth in a bit. And so there's lots of tax advantages outside of retirement accounts as well. So yes, you can do these inside retirement accounts as well as outside of retirement accounts. So again, lots of good advantages to these types of investments. Now, what are the disadvantages? Well, there's a lack of liquidity. It's just like buying the building I'm in here. It's not liquid. You can't buy it today and sell it tomorrow like you could for a stock, for instance. So we don't go to this section of my master proprietary process for any kind of liquidity. This is not going to be liquid in types of investments. These are not insured investments either. If you need insured investments, we're going to go to the safe section of my master proprietary process. That's annuities or life insurance, something like that, something that an insurance company backs. So again, lack of liquidity and being uninsured, not necessarily a bad thing, and actually can be a good thing if you're looking for diversification from the markets. These real estate programs specifically do have infrequent valuations. Again, they're not priced every day. A lot of times they're priced once a year. I usually know what's going on with the properties the whole year that you might own it, because I get to know all the CEOs that run these, and I can call them and say, okay, what's happening? Or I go visit the properties as well. I have seen UBTI taxes with these if they're in retirement accounts. Doesn't happen very often, but it can happen, just so you're aware of it. Okay, again, collectibles can be anything outside of the stock market. Anything that, like, as I mentioned before, gold and silver can be there as well. So again, collectibles, commodities, hedge funds, foreign exchange, those are common. A lot of people are well aware of those. Some folks are not as well known to them for the non-traded alternative investments. So let's talk about that for a minute, much more in depth. Okay, real estate. Again, let me mention here, if you have to leave early, no problem. Call the 800 number, get yourself on our calendar if this is something you want to discuss with me. 800-810-8060. 800-810-8060 is my 1-800 number. You can also go to my website, californiawealthadvisors.com, and you can type in a question there, or call the office directly if you like, and talk to my staff. They know my calendar for when I might have time to meet. Okay, real estate. I love the real estate programs. I do quite a lot of them. What am I talking about here? Well, these days I'm looking at housing programs, apartment programs, industrial warehouse space, mini warehouse space. I think those are all great places to go right now. I'm not suggesting a lot of hotel programs or office space or other kind of programs like that. So I'm very picky about the real estate I do. We probably have, I would say on our platform, 50 to 100 of these real estate types of programs available to you. I whittle it down to the top 4 or 5 that I really like the best. I pick companies that have been around 20, 30, 60 years. They've got long track records. They've been known to pay their dividend. They've been known to pay back their principal to the client that invests in their particular program. Now, is it a guarantee? No, but I'm very careful about the types of programs I pick for you. And again, if right now, if we're sticking to apartment buildings or industrial warehouse space or storage space, we're doing pretty good, I think, in the markets we have. We have a huge shortage of housing across the United States for the apartment or housing industry. And also people are buying more online. So the industrial warehouse space is wise as well. I love the storage space. I love that sector of the markets because it's almost recession proof. People move in, they move out, they upsize, they downsize, kids move in and move out. You remodel. People store their stuff in good times or bad times, and it's not an expensive bill. So many people, $50, $100 a month, they pay that bill, even if times are bad. And people want a place to store their stuff. So I like those storage units programs as well. Now, many of my real estate programs pay 4, 5, 6, 7% in income. That's the income coming off of the property itself, the rents that you get from the property. If you have that type of investment in a retirement account, oh, here's a question. Oh yeah, yes. Can you do these types of investments in IRAs or outside of IRAs in individual or trust accounts? Yes, you can. You can do them in individual accounts or a trust account if you have that. Again, if you do those real estate programs or the oil and gas for that matter, you're going to have tax advantages to them. The income that you get is going to be tax advantaged, 4, 5, 6, 7%. The income is going to come in on your 1099 every year and be tax advantage for you. The growth that you get, assuming it grows in value from when you bought it to when they sell the properties, that's going to be long-term capital gain for you. So that's tax advantaged as well. So outside of retirement accounts, these can be very advantageous. Again, that income that comes in, a lot of my clients like to have income generated when they retire. And this is one place we go. I used to do a lot of bonds many, many years ago. I built my business on putting people in bonds and laddered bond portfolios. I'm not doing those today because bonds are not a great place to be. I have a traditional investment building foundations for financial wealth seminar I'm going to do next. And that one I will talk in depth about bonds. But where do I go for bond replacements these days to create that income for you, that steady income for you? Well, I go to the real estate programs, to be honest with you, because many of them pay dividends monthly, can be quarterly, monthly, which is nice. And 4, 5, 6, 7%, that's a nice return. Those are, again, from the rents from the properties and then the capital appreciation as well. So yes, you can do these in retirement accounts and you can do them outside of retirement accounts as well. Make sure that the real estate that you pick for yourself, and I help you guide you with this, is the type of real estate that's appropriate for you. Is it a growth program and doesn't pay a dividend? Well, maybe if you're looking for dividends, that's not the right program for you. But if you have a retirement account and you just want growth, you're not looking for income out of it. Well, I do have growth real estate programs too. Maybe they're building the property and they don't have income yet. Well, that's a great place to go. So there's different kinds of real estate we can look at for you, whether it pays a dividend, whether it's growth oriented. It can be growth and income oriented too. We have those that combine the two. We have a number of programs again that are available. I love these programs. They're great. How they work, specifically the real estate programs, is the CEO, the board of directors for that particular real estate company decides they're going to buy, let's just give you an example, a number of apartments. And usually they buy 20, 30, 50 different apartment buildings. It's not just one. They collect money from you and me and other investors. They raise usually about $1 billion per program. Then they shut it down to new investors, no new investors after that. They're investing the money in these real estate properties. They're collecting the rents. They're sending you the rents. That's the dividend that you're getting. They're going to keep and manage that portfolio for, I'm going to say, around 5 years. Now they can sell it earlier and they can sell it later. But I'm going to say on average around 5 years. Could be 2 years, could be 7 years. They're going to sell the properties when they make you money. That's what you want them to do. So when they feel like they've made a good profit, they're going to sell the properties, send you back a check, and then you decide from there what you want to do with those funds. The check will go either back to your retirement account or it'll be sent to your bank or wherever you have the dividends going outside of a retirement account. So that's just a general view of how they work. But I love these programs. And again, different from the stock market, income oriented or growth oriented or both. The oil and gas industry. So when you have a big taxable event in a year, you might need some write-offs. The oil and gas programs can be very good for that. They give you a lot of tax write-offs. They give you a lot of income generally that comes in. Again, these are companies that have been around 20, 30 or more years. They've got a history of doing that. Usually they're drilling for wells. Equipment leasing is more of an income play. Don't do a lot of those anymore. I used to do more of them in the past, but because I like the real estate and even the oil and gas programs better. The business development companies, those are loan types of companies. Where I'm going today for the loan types of companies, or the ones that are just don't have a lot of growth to them but have a lot of good income, is more the preferred shares that we offer. And we have a number of programs that are available for that. Those pay nice dividends for those 4, 5, 6, 7% dividends that's coming in for those. You don't get a lot of growth, but you get a lot of income from them. So those can be very nice as well. So that's kind of an overview of the non-traded alternative investments. Here's another question that just came in here. I'm very interested in these alternatives. I don't like the stock market. Well, there you go. What do I need to bring to my first appointment? Okay, your first appointment, again, calling the 800 number, 800, 810, 800, 810, 8060, 8060, 800, 810, 8060. Call, get yourself on our calendar. What you bring for the first meeting is your business statements, perhaps your financial statements. Maybe you have accounts in other brokerage firms. Bring me those so I can see what you have. Actually, I think I have here. Oh, there you go. Establish and define a relationship. So our first meeting, I'm going to establish and define the relationship. When you call and meet with me for the first time, for those of you that have not met with me yet, we're going to define that relationship. I'm going to gather information together. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. I'm going to take it back to my office. I'm going to analyze it and evaluate it for you. And then I'm going to come back to you, our second meeting, and develop and present those recommendations I have for you based on what you told me you have and what you're trying to do. Then if we agree we're a good fit, and I can't work with everyone, but if I can bring to the table what you're looking for and we decide we do want to work together, we'll implement the plan. My staff will get back to you to sign whatever paperwork we might need. And then really one of the major components here in my management process is monitoring regularly your portfolio. I do it every day, but I like to sit down with you and do portfolio reviews every quarter, every 6 months or so to show you, here's what you have, here's how it's doing. We're very well known here at California Wealth Advisors for staying in touch with people. So I know other people have told me they've had issues with that with their advisors. Don't call them back. We are very good at calling people back and staying in touch with you with whatever questions you might have. I want you to think about where you are on the investment portfolio bar here. Do you have all your money in stocks? And yes, that's red for a reason. You have higher risk with that. Even with dividend paying types of US stocks, it's tradable. It can go up and down on a whim. A lot of my clients don't like being there. Stocks, mutual funds, even variable annuities can be there as well. Bonds, I don't like bonds so much these days because as interest rates rise, bond values go down. And I think we're in an interest rate increasing environment right now. What I do like to protect your principal is the fixed index annuities, CDs, cash even. I have money market accounts now that pay well over 5%. So that's nice for if you just have cash that you want. So where are you on this spectrum here? And make sure that it's where you want it to be. If you're 100% in the market and you don't mind being there, then great. If you want to diversify more, then we can help you do that. So just kind of think about where you are there. Now on my website, CaliforniaWealthAdvisors.com, I do have these 3 sheets here that you can print for yourself. This is one of the things, or 3 of the things I like you to bring in our first meeting. I think it's important for you to understand where you're at. Now, the first thing is the budget sheet. And on my radio show, I talk about that incessantly because you've got to know what your budget is. Where is your money going every month? How do you spend your money? If you're spending a lot going out to dinner every night, it's good to know that. If your budget is going to be less when you retire than it was when you were working, maybe you don't have to drive anymore, you don't have business expenses, it's good to know that. So a lot of times I tell people, print 2 of the budget sheet, print 1 for before you retire and print 1 for what you think it will be in retirement. And then you can compare the 2. So I think the budget sheet is really good, especially if that first meeting is great. Asset sheet, my second sheet here that you again can print on my website. I think that's good and important for you to know where your assets are. So that's good too. And then really one of the most important things I was reading in the Wall Street Journal lately, one of the regrets that retirees have is they haven't thought about what they're going to do in retirement. That's why I came up with my bucket list. And yes, you can print that on my website. But think about what you want to do in retirement. And some of these things I have listed here may cost some money, but let's put that in the budget sheet. So let's make sure that we've got all these things covered. But yes, think about what you're going to do in retirement. I think that's really important. I want you to be happy in retirement. I really want, if you want to visit the grandkids to go move to where they are, by all means. If you want to travel the world, by all means, let's make sure you can get there. But you got to plan ahead of time first. Yes, we are fiduciary. I have always put my clients' needs above anybody else's. So absolutely, we're fiduciary. We are A+ rated on Better Business Bureau. We're very proud of that. The complimentary services we do constantly, portfolio reviews, Roth conversions, if you're interested in that, we can talk about that. Managing your debt. Oh boy, make sure you don't have any debt when you go into retirement. I just saw a credit card recently, it was charging 30% a month. Oh, that's just too much. Get out of credit card debt before you retire, absolutely. Having emergency funds, that's where the budget comes in. I want you to have 6 months at least of your budget in cash. And again, I have money market accounts that are paying nice rates these days to have that in cash, but that's money that you can go to if you ever need to in an emergency situation. And of course, we specialize in retirement planning. We, of course, will get you whatever tax documents you need. We're going to make sure you're taking out your required minimum distribution every year. I have my staff member that his job is to make sure people are taking out the right amounts every year. Actually planning for your budget, that's where my budget sheet comes in. And we do have a lot of seminars and client education events as well. So these events that I have, this is my website where you can go register for any events. So go to the events tab, scroll down to here where it says event name, just click on that and it'll show all my upcoming events. And here's a few that I've had in the past, just to show you what my invitations look like. And I do have events on real estate. So Cottonwood, for instance, is a real estate program. I had an event on that not too long ago. But I also talk about the stock market. I have these events that talk about the stock market and alternative investments, certainly. So if you're interested in any of my events, go on the events tab and scroll down there and see which event might be appropriate for you. So what do we work with? Well, we work with 401ks, absolutely. If you have a 401k and you're still contributing to the company, but you're not ready to retire yet, but you don't want to have so much in the stock market, you need to ask your HR person if you can do what's called an in-service transfer. So that allows you to take money out of that 401k into an IRA with a firm like ours, California Wealth Advisors, and lets us manage it and create that mass proprietary process for you. When you retire, you can do direct rollovers from the 401k into an IRA. There's no taxes for any of this, by the way. If you can't do either one of those and you're still working for your company, you might be able to open a brokerage window, which means you're still working for the company. Everything stays at the 401k company, but now it allows someone like me to come in and professionally manage that for you. So if you're looking for that professional wealth management, that's what we bring to the table here. Of course, we work with trust accounts, and if you do not have a trust, I do have attorneys I work with to set up trusts for you. I think that's really important for every portfolio to have. So if you have trust accounts, you have assets in your trust accounts, and you need professional wealth management on that, I can certainly help you with that as well. We do 1031 exchanges for folks as well, opportunity zones. These are ways to avoid or delay taxes. So we do those as well. If you have a highly appreciated asset that you want to sell, but you don't want to pay the taxes, give us a call. We have a number of things we can do for you. Annuities, certainly we do work with variable, fixed, 1035 exchanges. That's taking an old annuity and making it a better annuity. Annuities have changed over the years. They've gotten different and better. So if you have an old variable annuity that hasn't performed very well, or even a fixed or fixed index annuity that hasn't performed very well, a lot of times we can improve those. Many of those have caps on them, which means you can only make over a certain percentage each year. I like to have ones with no caps that you can make unlimited amounts every year. So if you have an old one that hasn't performed well, let us know. We'll see how we can help you there. Same thing with life insurance policies. If you have an old life insurance policy that does not have long-term care attached to it, that's a big thing a lot of people really want to, are very, very concerned about, is long-term care. A lot of times we can take those old policies, especially if they have cash value to them, and move them into a new life insurance policy that actually has long-term care attached to it. And a lot of times we can improve the death benefit as well. The other thing we help a lot of people with is Social Security planning. So where are you in taking Social Security? You can take it at 62, but it doesn't mean you should. So we will help people walk through when to take it for them, what's best for them. Here's my 800 number, 800-810-8060. Kelly at CaliforniaWealthAdvisors.com is my direct email. CaliforniaWealthAdvisors.com is where you go to look for any events that we might have coming up. That first meeting, I like it to be in person, and my Anaheim office, or any of my LA or Orange County folks is where I like to meet with them, or my Santa Barbara office is great as well. I like the first meeting to be in person because I want to get to know you. I want to make sure we're a good fit. Again, I can't work with everyone. So if you're serious about having us help you and you really do need some help, call us and get yourself on our calendar, and we'll see how we can help you. I can also do Zoom meetings and phone calls as that first meeting as well. So thank you for joining us tonight. Again, I am Kelly Slott, the CEO, owner, radio show host of CaliforniaWealthAdvisors.com. And love to hear from you. Love to see if you have any more questions. If I didn't get to your question, please send it to us or call us. You can call the office directly or the 800 number, 800-810-8060. My book here, right here, available for you to read and educate yourself on how to think about investing. I think it's a really good book for that. Thank you very much. Great to see you all. If you have any other questions, you let us know.